Alright, hello everybody. We are here with our SPL Week 2 picks for our World season, guys. You can see the first week we didn't do too bad. The first part of the week was really rough and it was crazy, but the second part of the week ended up being a lot better. How do we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 10 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10 out of 16. That's not too bad for the first week, considering a couple of them that should have been probably fairly easy. We didn't get the Panthera Paradigm because of how crazy that was. Envy Randozzo's we didn't get as well because Randozzo took a game. There probably could have been another one there. So quite a few games were crazy. And then Eager had the DC issue, so theirs was crazy. So overall, we actually did fairly well, given the amount of information that we had for SPL Week 1. So now that we're moving into SPL Week 2, we have, of course, a ton more games. What was another 16 games, something like that. And we got to start it off with Denial versus Randozzo's. Denial is destroying right now. Denial is on fire. Randozzo's going to definitely get some more wins this year, but I don't think it's going to be against Denial. Not with the way that they are playing. I expect them to be probably a top 2 team this year. So it'll be very interesting. I think probably Denial and Soar right now are starting off with the best foot forward in North America. So I've got them going 2-0. LG and Envy is going to be a little bit more interesting. Envy having a really hard time in their last set. Having a very, very difficult time. Cyclone got camped in both games, like really hard. Like they camped his brains out. They just didn't leave us laying. So he never really got his footing, which was a pretty good strat. I mean, they kept Cyclone down, which is, you know, Cyclone kind of is Envy, right? When people think about Envy, they think Cyclone. So, Luminosity, on the other hand, though, splitting both of their sets, which is not bad. They have 2 points. That's good. But I think they wanted to definitely come out stronger. They definitely wanted to be winning some more of their games, taking at least one of the sets 2-0. So I think they're probably fairly disappointed with their score right now, even though it's not bad. They're just probably disappointed as their players because, you know, they are so used to being top level. But I do expect them to take it 2-0. That could be a game, though, depending on how you're feeling. This game could go split, but I think it's going to be Luminosity 2-0. I'd give it like 70-30. Enemy versus ALG. This will be another interesting matchup. Enemy Esports coming out, not having Panda Cat still for this game. Panda should be back after this match for their next set. But they've been having a pretty decent struggle time so far at the beginning of this split. They're taking, you know, the win here and there, but they're not nearly as strong, I think, as people thought they would be. Denial basically took it to them. They beat Eager, but Eager didn't have their full roster, and they kind of got pooed on by Denial. Denial is just going crazy right now. Going up against Allegiance. Allegiance losing their first set to Denial, so both teams have lost to Denial, and then Allegiance splitting with LG. With Panda Cat, this game will be a lot different, but I'm going to lean this game towards a split between the two. Both teams looking to grab some more points as they're going forward. Honestly, I think it's it's probably closer to like 40-30-30 is what I would do here. This is going to be one of the closer matches, I think, in the first beginning of this set. That should be a crazy good match. Eager and Soar. I think Eager's a very strong team right now. They lost their first 2 games because of the disconnect issues. Soar, on the other hand, extremely strong coming out. I think their weak link is going to be Snoopy's God Pool. He seemingly is having a really hard time on mages. When he pulls out like raw middle, it's great. But when he's pulling out mages, they've been fairly lackluster. If Eager can play to that, they might be able to take this set. But I'm going to go ahead and split this. Both of those teams looking very strong this year. That could be a good indicator if one of these teams takes it 2-0, who's going to take one of those top spots. That's the end for our Thursday games. Moving on to our Friday games now. Dignitas versus Cyclone GG. Neither team particularly impressing me yet, but I'm going to give it to Dignitas 2-0. I think both those teams have a little bit of learning curve ahead of them, but Dignitas is looking stronger. Cringe Crew versus Fantastique. Both of them coming off not to their preferred starts. I think both of these teams have potential as well to be quite good. The European scene right now is actually pretty close as well. I think that is probably closer this split than it was last split. Kind of like NA. NA is real close this split. But speaking of splits, we're going to give that split between the two of Cringe Crew and Fantastique. Panthera versus Leftovers, not too much to discuss here. Panthera 2-0. Now, this game is real interesting. Paradigm versus Hungry for More. Hungry for More, the #1 team right now in Europe. Paradigm and Panthera basically tied for second. Very interesting, dude. It's a very interesting matchup. Hungry for More, notably Ataraxia on that team. Paradigm, of course, everybody knows the Paradigm boys. Both of these teams are very solid, okay? Very, very solid. Man, this is probably... I'm going to go with what I would consider my crazy pick for the set. I try to do at least one crazy pick per week, just to kind of mix it up, you know, not go like completely standard. I'm going to say Hungry for More is going to take this 2-0. I think Hungry for More could be a very good team. It'll be interesting to see how they go up against the big boys of Paradigm and Panthera. They haven't had the same level of competition. If you wanted to go my normal pick, normally I would say go this a split. Go this a split. But this is going to be my little bit of a underdog pick, if you will. And I'm going to go Hungry for More 2-0. Normal pick, I would say go split. Next up, we'll have once again Dig going against Fantastique. I don't think Fantastique's going to win their games. I think Dig's going to win their prior week's games. So I'm taking Dig 2-0 in that set. Paradigm versus Leftovers. I think Paradigm will be just fine in this matchup, getting themselves 2 nice wins. Hungry for More versus Cyclone. I think they're going to be just fine, getting themselves 2 wins. And Panthera versus Cringe Crew, getting themselves 2 wins. These picks right here, I'm fairly confident about. These should be pretty standard. Paradigm should have no problems. Hungry for More should have no problems. Panthera should have no problems. If anybody is going to lose out of these 3 games, it's going to be Dig. But I think those 4 2-0s are going to be pretty straightforward. You're going to be fairly safe just going with those. Denial versus Envy. Denial 2-0. Denial started off very strong against some hard teams. They beat ALG and they beat Enemy Esports. Now they get to go against teams that are probably considered a little bit easier, I guess. Not really, because like every team is so strong this year. But I think that they're going to have a much easier time against the Randozos and Envy in this week than they did last week. I think that they're going to find themselves some pretty fast wins. And could very, very easily find themselves 8-0 after this first couple of weeks, which is crazy, dude. Which is crazy. Eager versus ALG will be a very interesting set. Eager and ALG are scrim partners, basically. So it'll be interesting to see how this set goes. They both kind of know each other's meta. It'll be a good set. This should be a really good set. Assuming, you know, nothing crazy happens, both teams have their full rosters and everything. This should be a really strong set. Both of the teams could be coming off of wins earlier in the week as well, so they could have a bit of momentum going forward. But this should be a very solid match. I'm going to give out the way of split. Sora versus the Randozos. Sorry, Randozos. I do think you guys have the opportunity to take games this year, but I think that Sora is not going to be one of those games. Finally, Enemy versus LG. Panda Cat should be back. Panda Cat should be back for these matches. So, how big of a difference will it make for Enemy facing LG? with Panda Cat. I don't know. That's up to you. How much influence do you personally put on Panda Cat? I think Panda Cat makes a world of difference for Enemy, and I'm going to give it to Enemy 2-0. So that wraps up the picks for the week, guys. Denial 2-0. LG over Envy. Enemy ALG split. Eager Source split for our Thursday games. Friday games. Dig 2-0. Cringe Crew split with Fantastique. Panthera 2-0. And our crazy pick of the week, Hungry for More 2-0 over Paradigm. Going to Saturday, we have our easy games. Dig 2-0. Paradigm 2-0. Hungry for More 2-0. And Panthera 2-0. Wrapping it up on Sunday with Denial over Envy, Eager ALG split, Soar over the Randozos, and Enemy over LG. Guys, let me know what you think about the picks if you're watching on YouTube down in the comments. And let me know how your picks did last week comparatively to our picks if you didn't follow them exactly. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It's the final countdown. Ba-da-ba-boo. Ba-da-ba-ba-boo. The final countdown.